there's lanes that they can get. I mean, it's not like we're blocking all 5 lanes of the freeway. We're in lane, okay? If you have to go that fast, you can just fucking go around me. I'm not going to move out of your way. But yeah, so when are they going to enforce this shit? You know, when are they going to actually, you know, the Department of, I guess that would be the, well, it's a state.
ADOT?
No, it'd be the state troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arizona Department of Public Safety, I guess. Anyway, the State Highway Patrol or whatever should be enforcing these laws, and you never see them on the freeway. I mean, it's fucking 5:15 in the morning. Of course, there's not much in the way of cars out here right now. There's us. There's a SUV type just behind us to the right. There's another car that's passing us, probably doing about 70.
We're in a gap, though.
We're in a pretty big gap. But you can see a bunch of cars behind us, and you can see a bunch of cars in front of us a ways. Okay, now the SUV has decided to speed up because somebody else is going faster. It's, you know, kind of crappy to set up these safety zones and then actually don't enforce it. What a waste of taxpayer money.
And then the one time we were to deviate from it, either forgetful or
have the cruise control on and not paying attention to where we just passed.
We're the ones that's going to get popped.
Yeah. So it kind of sucks. Apparently, there's a couple of these safety zones around the state. There's another one up by where we work. It's kind of a short one. There's one farther out on the 10. There's several of them around town. So whenever you see those safety corridor signs, apparently it means you don't get pulled over, even if you're driving like a fucking bat out of hell, like the car that just went whizzing by us a second ago in the carpool lane. What is today anyway? Today's 18th. Yesterday was St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
So we hope that you all had a healthy and wealthy and safe non-jail time. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We don't like to see people getting arrested for partying, but we also don't like to see people that have been partying damage other people because of stupidity. Like those 2 cars that just whizzed past us at about 80 miles an hour. So I'm just totally at a loss here of what comes next in life. You know, it's a time where people in America are really, I think we've become either so right or so left that those of us that are not the extreme ends of the spectrum don't know where we fit in anymore. And you see that a lot online. You see a lot of people that may have been a Republican that are now independents or Democrats, and you see people that were Democrats that are now independents or even have switched to Republican. You know, and I think that this has been a plan. Corporations have been planning this for years. I think this is specifically what they have been trying to do. If you look at our new budgets and stuff like that, they're basically cutting the budgets of so many programs and so many departments in our government, so they can afford tax breaks for more corporations. As usual, business as usual. I think the only way that we could have stopped this kind of thing would have been, electing Bernie Sanders, honestly, because he wouldn't have put up with this shit, and he understands that we need to focus on our people first and not the corporations.
And he's already doing that. That's the thing that kills me. People are like, oh, well, what does he know? He's a successful senator in a state that's not near an era of red. People actually have the capacity to understand what works and what doesn't work. But you have a scary word like socialist or socialism, and it's a buzzword that people don't really fully understand what it's all about.
Because of the media. The media has basically made the word socialism into a bad word, and people are totally against socialism, not realizing that your police departments in your city are socialist programs. Your fire departments in your cities are socialist
The guy driving a snowplow, that's socialist. Well, not
driving a snowplow. Yeah, up in New York. Those socialist snowplows are out in force right now.
Yep.
Any of that kind of stuff. Your public library, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, all of those are socialist-based programs. But you have some fucking ignorant person that watches Fox News, and all they get is socialism is bad. Socialism is bad. Socialism, and that's why why all these socialist countries that you always condemn and say they suck and stuff like that, that's why they're laughing at us right now.
They're kicking our ass on pretty much every probably benchmark.
Look, we are the only first world nation on the planet now that does not have universal health care for all. The only one. Why is that? Why is it that every other nation that's first world nation have health care for everybody, yet the United States can't do it?
And wait, aren't we like the only country to like be shoving pharma commercials down people's throats on the
but that's
radio and
that's
TV?
a whole other story. I mean, this is specific, has to do with why is the United States the only country that does not have universal health care. And that's simply because of the lobbyists and the pharmaceutical industry, the healthcare industry, lobbyists for all of these different things. Because that's where people that run to get elected to the U.S. Congress, that's where they get their money. Okay? So, if you go through and you start looking at, we're leaving the safety corridor, so I'm speeding up now to match my speed to everybody else's. If you look and follow the money, that's the basis of politics. That's the basis of everything that people need to start paying attention to. Follow the money. Okay? Where the money comes from and where the money is going will tell you what type of program or issue it is. Okay? For example, the group or the PAC or whatever you want to call them that's been organizing and doing everything they can to get an constitutional Article 5 constitutional convention. Okay? Look back and see where that money's coming from. And if you go from the top of the list of the actual organization and find out who that person's connected to, in this case, that organization leads back to the Koch Industries. Okay? They want the constitutional amendment because they now have all of these different states that are red states that they control. Arizona happens to be one of those that's controlled by the Koch brothers. Thank you, Doug Ducey. And so they want to control these places, and they want the Constitutional Convention so that they can take out the powers of the Supreme Court, so that it can take out some of the powers of Congress and some of the powers of the president.
If this doesn't scare the hell out of you, then you're not paying attention. You need to get your head out of the sand, or you need to get your brain in check, because it's scary as hell.
One of the things that they want to do at this convention is they want, and by the way, the convention is a total free-for-all. We haven't had a constitutional convention since 1787, and that was when they went to actually create the Constitution of the United States after the Articles of Confederation. Okay? Now, one of the things they want to do is they want to break the federal government powers over the states. Okay? And what that means is that, for example, same-sex marriage, the Supreme Court said, this issue needs to be addressed, and yes, same-sex marriage is legal in the United States. Okay, boom. They're adding that to their list for constitutional convention. What they want to do is say that now when the Supreme Court does something like that, the state can say, we don't agree with that, and we're not going to follow it, and we refuse to implement it, and get away with it. They don't have to follow it. At this point in time, they're supposed to. But Constitutional Convention, this is what they're going to try to take away. They're going to try to take away powers from the federal government, give it to the states, and these states that are being run by these red states are just going to turn it into the cesspool. Right? It's all going to be religious dogma. Public schools are going to be teaching creationism. Science classes are all going to be canceled. Kind of like how Sharia law works. But in this case, it's Christian law. And for those of you that don't know, the idea that, the Christians that are all screaming about no Sharia law, well, Christian law, pretty much the same thing. Okay? Hates gays, doesn't want science taught, doesn't want women to actually hold jobs. Same thing. It just has a different name. So you can scream about all you want, but you're advocating what you're advocating for what you want, which is exactly what you're advocating against because it has a different name. Get a clue, folks. That's the way shit works. Funny how that happens. Oh, look at this. We're fixing to come up on the 10 freeway. Woo! 60-10 interchange.
Yay.
I need a donut or something.
We live a charmed life.
Wouldn't it be nice having like a breakfast burrito right now? I mean,
we got blueberry muffins and...
Yeah, but it's not a breakfast burrito.
Yeah, well... If you really want to risk it, there's a certain pay.
Ooh, I'll pass on that one. There's a Filiberto's just off the freeway.
We're wanting to actually try to do something productive today, right?
Yeah, and going and sitting on the toilet all day long is probably not that. Although it could be deemed as productive, it's not one of those things that I think we should be doing.
Yeah.
So, today is going to be a day of a lot of hard work for at least a few hours because we're trying to move stuff around at work, make up some space. For those of you that don't know where we work for a company that is, the facility is a 2-pound bag, and we have stuffed 60 pounds of shit in it. For those of you that understand that analogy. Basically, we have no room, and we're still trying to add more equipment and move things around and make things work. So, today's going to be one of those days. It's going to be creative stacking, I guess you could say. And yeah, it's fucking 5:27 in the morning. It's black outside. Well, not when you're driving through Phoenix because all the street lights and stuff like that. Because you can't see any stars because of all the lights. But after work, we're going to go spend time with the fam. We're going to go sit in the hot tub, drink some beer, have some barbecue, that kind of fun stuff. Good time with the family. And for those of you out there that are worried about life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness and all this other bad shit that's going down right now, the best thing that you can do is spend time with your family. Because the rocky road ahead, we don't know which direction it's going to go.
Well, unless your family has absolutely opposing viewpoints and it's so stressful for you to be around them, you'd rather just sit at home with a six-pack.
Well, the best thing to do is just not talk about politics. Okay? There's no reason for politics to drive families apart. That really is sad when we have things like that happen.
It always comes up, though.
Yeah, well, sometimes.
You can post something completely non-political.
Yeah.
On social media, and then there's always got to be some asshole
that puts politics
into it. It's like, look, this
is
why I posted this. It's not political. Don't fucking turn it political.
Yeah. And then you see a lot of that these days. I mean, somebody posted a meme about, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it had something to do with food or something. And, of course, within just a few minutes, somebody had turned it political. Started talking about, Monsanto taking back our country from corporations and blah, blah. It's like, I'm sorry. If I post a picture of my dog, I don't need you to take it off and talk about how dogs are hated in Texas because Republicans don't let them blah, 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 blah. Enough, okay? We need to start moving away from spending all of our time on Facebook bitching about for or against politics. Okay? If you really hate politics, then don't talk about it so much. There's an idea. Shut the fuck up. I mean, it's not that difficult.
You're going to at least kind of know what the fuck you're talking about, or at least say it in a way to where
in the days of alternative facts and fake news, it's really hard to know exactly what you're talking about. So, when in doubt, shut the fuck up. There's people out there that live. It's their life's work to troll people.
How sad is that, honestly?
That's how they spend their time. That's what they think is free time and free fun.
I want that
trolling
kind of time.
People. And that's how they get their kicks, And it's kind of sad that we've devolved into a society where it's more important for people to go online and troll other people to get your kicks than it is to help clean up your neighborhood or help some old lady across the street, or help somebody that's obviously disabled or needs help loading groceries in their car. How about help them out? Instead, what are we doing? We're sitting around bitching on Facebook about everybody else.
Everybody's tough behind a fucking keyboard.
Yeah. So, our advice is quit being douchebags. Get out there and actually do something, okay? If you want to make America great again and you support Donald Trump, well, get off your ass and get out there and make America great again. Because he's not going to do it for you.
He's doing it for the corporations.
No, he's not doing anything.
I'm saying it's not going to be for the people, most of the people that vote.
America cannot be made great again because of a president. Okay? Obama cannot, President Obama couldn't make America great again. President Trump is not going to make America great again. Okay, there's 318 plus